What's cracking, guys? Blair here. This video is pretty special. This is the beginning of our time going into our first national championship. Jackson and I qualified at Kentucky Lake last year. To make it to this national championship is a big deal for us. I've worked really hard for this. Jackson's worked really hard for this, and it feels really good to have this opportunity. So I'm gonna go through a little rundown. This is something I've never done, but I think it'd be kind of cool to do for you guys. I want to tell you what I'm thinking about Hartwell before getting into it. I've been there a few times. Hartwell is full of herring, everybody knows it. They're fast moving bait fish, and those fish are very reactive, but they also get a ton of pressure. So I've kind of selected some baits that are, you know, staples just for getting bites, but then also some stuff that I think I might be able to make them react with. But the first one here is just a drop shot. I just have a little Texas rig drop shot hook for this. It's a straight shank, but I'm going to use this one here for actually pitching into piles. Any fish I see in them that aren't really reactive, I'm going to try to see if I can't just put it right in the pile and just hold it there and see if they bite it. And then we got a Scopin rod here. This is a brand new C3 rod that I got made specifically for fishing in the South, and this is a great all-purpose rod. It's a 7.2 medium, so this is going to be on deck all year round, but very excited to start catching some fish on this. And then a top water rod. You cannot go to Hartwell without having a top water. I'll probably be throwing just the staple silver, chrome. I'm probably just going to keep it real simple with that, just throwing a spook. This here is a drop shot rod as well, but this one I have it paired up with, you might be able to see it there, but just a really small finesse drop shot hook. And this one I'm going to be using for more of those open water fish that I'm seeing cruising, pitching down to them. It's just a slower, more natural presentation instead of pitching a live scope bait on them and trying to make them react. Trying to cover the bases, that's a big deal with pre-fishing. Here I got another C3 rod, and then here we've got a cranking rod, but what I'll be throwing on it is like a sweet bait. It's basically a swim bait that swims real fast, and they look just like herring. And then the last rod here is an absolute staple, and that is a fluke. And you can see there, I've looked up several videos on, you know, the best ways to rig these, because I by no means am a fluke fisherman, and I know that these fish will short strike a decent bit, so I actually set it up with a treble on the back just to increase the odds of catching them. If we can, I'd love to find something that's a little out of the norm, because I know all the offshore stuff's going to get just beat up. That's just the way it is. The fish are offshore right now. It's the heat of the summer. Water temps are as hot as they're going to be, and that's just the way it is. So we'll see what happens. Might get up shallow and check out a few largemouth pockets, see if we can't find some fish back in there, see if we can find some bluegill eaters around some docks or some clay banks, but we'll see what happens. I'm super excited for it though, and I hope you guys are excited to join along, getting the YouTube videos started back up here for the college season. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you at Hartwell. That is not good. What's going on here, Skimp?
Oh, living the dream. Finally get back together, fish one of these college derbs, and stop and get something to eat. Find out there's a little El Problemo.
Good thing is we're at the hotel at least, but yeah, no, that ain't good. Never had that happen before, so we're on a mission to figure that out tonight. So we'll get her figured out. But yeah, there's always something. It's not what you want. It's all burnt up. Like that's the grease has, I mean, that was hot, so hopefully it's not too bad on the inside. I'm learning this as we go here, but I figured it was the bearing. Maybe it's the inner bearing, I haven't seen that yet, but this outer one looks fine. So already starting with the low, but hopefully that means we'll get things worked out and be able to take it on into the tournament.
Feature me in the YouTube video.
Go for it. I don't know how to replace a hub. The only thing, don't let that caliper drop at all. I got something to hold it up, so I'll go grab that quick.
Yeah.
Bet that was hot.
Some guns got
It
chrome
was.
coming out of it, son.
Did the bearing go out?
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine.
You might need to tie that up more.
Yeah. I mean,
There's,
you probably, if you you want to be safe, you might want to take it somewhere.
Oh, I'm definitely going to take it somewhere. Well, I'm going to try to be pretty humble about this and honest and tell you guys that I don't know a single thing I'm doing right now, unfortunately. I've always heard about hubs getting blown out on trailers or whatever, bearings breaking or busting or whatever. And bearings aren't such a big deal. I kind of understand that concept, but having the whole hub assembly go out was just way over my head. So I've actually talked to somebody in the area, and hopefully we're going to be able to get this taken care of tomorrow. We got here later today, so you know, we might miss out on half a day, maybe a full day of practice, but it's like everybody says, just got to get through the adversity. I've kind of gotten over the emotions of it all. Definitely a learning experience here. Basically what ended up happening is the inner bearing, the larger bearing, ended up busting somehow, coming apart, and ended up just ruining the integrity of the hub system. So you guys saw it, it was wobbling back and forth. It had space in there, which it's not supposed to, of course, and fortunately we caught it before it got really, really bad, but it's still pretty dang bad. So we're gonna just roll with the punches on this one. Still really excited to hit Hartwell whenever we get out there, but this is part of it. It definitely happens a lot of time on the road, and I mean, we can try to be as prepared as possible, but it seems like even, I mean, we fixed a bunch of things on the boat, maintained it this summer, and still, first tournament, first time headed out, and this still happens. So that just goes to show you can try to do everything you want, but you just never know. So that's the fun of it. We're gonna just take it as a learning lesson, learn from it, and hopefully get onto the water tomorrow. So you guys stay tuned. I don't know when I'm gonna see you next, but we'll see you there. I know this is way overkill, probably, but I don't feel safe and comfortable with this stuff, so we're making sure that it's all good. But put the caliper up there, threw some ratchet straps around the axle, so we're gonna back it off the trailer, get going, and actually get some time on the water today. So that's the hope and the dream. Well, we just dropped the boat off here, so taking the trailer with no weight on it. Hopefully that'll help out the guy that is doing the work on it, and I know for a fact it makes me feel a lot better just about pulling it right now, because having one tire on one side just freaks me out. I'm just not used to it, not used to anything that has to do with the hub going up. I can guarantee that in the future I will have a spare hub for this exact reason, and that's part of it. You learn a lot on the road here, and we're learning it here, unfortunately, at the national championship. So just dumped Jackson in. He's gonna go get a little bit of fishing in. We'll see if any, you know, fish are in this area. We're in a completely random spot. Not really where we were intending to check out, but maybe something cool happened. Maybe it'll be like Kentucky Lake and I'll come back and we'll have 19 pounds of spotted bass to go to. So, oh man. The joys of college fishing, I tell you what, guys. I'm pretty beat right now, but you know what, we're gonna get the train back on the tracks and get right over this and hopefully get to fishing for real for tomorrow. So stay tuned. We got her back. Folks at home, we're back in action. We're starting on some largemouth, actually. Gotta definitely try to mix things up and keep everything honest here. So we're gonna start out doing this. Poncho. Broke my rod. That's a largemouth, dude. Oh my gosh! Oh, no! He came off. This is probably the toughest place to catch a bass because these fish see so many baits and get pressured so much. But the real key is being able to be around bait, I feel like. So we're getting the bait dialed in, figuring out where it's at, and as long as you can be around feeding fish on bait, you're gonna have a lot better odds of timing brush piles better and just timing scenarios like this where we're actually chasing fish in a bait ball. So that's pretty exciting. Look at that. Jesus! I feel like we're back at Kentucky Lake. Oh my God. That was the highest I've ever seen one of these suckers go.
Dude, I hate seeing spots up like that. Oh, you get straight up, feels like a smallmouth.
Yeah.
A little chunky.
Little fatty.
Freaking football, son.
There we go. Finally got her to go. These ones are so much more reactive.
Weigh that one just for reference.
Yeah.
What's your scale?
Yeah. Just playing the wind here, there's some bait we've been following a little bit. And seems like it might have rolled up into this area. There we go. This is awesome. All I saw was one bass on this stump, and as my spoon started going down, all of a sudden one came shooting up, and then it turned into 10. Here, I'll show the camera quick. The bait we found earlier today already is moving completely out of the area that we found it, so we relocated some of it, but now with the sun coming out, seems like it all got up, and all the bait I'm seeing is like 10 feet below the surface, and it's made fishing a lot tougher. I mean, some of those bait ball fish were fighting earlier, but I can't get any to commit now. And
It's about to come apart. I'm gonna wear shorts again.
He's out there talking.
I got hooked up with these guys. I got, well, when I got